Hey everybody, welcome to Nerd Culture Undisputed. I am Kyle Wright here today with a great panel. First of all, as always, Mr. Adam Goff, thanks for being here.
Oh, dude, I'm looking forward to reviewing this movie here.
Oh, so excited. And of course, Mr. Liam Fisher here as well. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. It's always good to be here.
All right, so before we get into this, we are going to be talking about the Batman. So if you've not seen the Batman, spoilers ahead. Stop watching now. Go see the Batman. Come back, watch this video. Start from where you paused because, wow. I don't think any of it, I think we all wanted it to be good.
Yes.
But I don't think any of us expected it to be that damn good.
That's the difference. We wanted it to be good, but nobody expected it to be.
Yeah, right.
Because sitting in that theater for the first 5 minutes, like, I'm going to be honest, in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, God, I hope this movie doesn't fucking suck.
Well, that's what I leaned over to you because the first 15 minutes of that movie were kind of, there were moments that I loved. I loved the lurking in the shadows thing. I love stuff rolling back there, and I love people looking back there like, oh, shit,
yeah,
is he going to be there? But then they showed him for the first time. I'm like, oh, that's so Twilight.
It is. It was.
But then it never stopped from there. Adam, I know you were sitting next to some talkers in the theater.
Oh, yeah, that was annoying as hell. And it was a little kid.
I totally forgot about that.
And it was a little kid, and I just kept wanting to just look over at him and go, dude, shut up. Seriously. Because it's a dark movie, literally dark.
Yeah, I guarantee that kid had no idea of what
there was,
the story was.
There was some quiet dialogue, throughout the entire movie because of how they set it up. So, I mean, in the right in my right ear, I'm hearing this little kid, and he's not even speaking English, and and I'm okay with that, but it was like I couldn't even understand what he was saying because, like, if he was like, "Hey, Dad, what's going on here?" I could kind of see that or whatever, but I couldn't even understand him, so it was just like, just shut up.
Didn't know what language to tell him to shut the fuck up in.
Right.
Exactly. Pull up Google Translate real quick.
So just short story before we get too far. Adam came in today wearing a black and white striped shirt, and the cameras thought it was like an optical illusion. It was like a hallucination. It was like making the camera move. And
really?
Stuff. It was weird. Very weird situation. That's what you get with $8 webcams, though.
That's how we roll.
Donate to our eventual
GoFundMe will be in the link.
Yeah, GoFundMe. Maybe we should make one.
Right.
All right, so let's talk about the Batman. You're coming out of the theater. We all three went and saw it together. First time we've done that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I hope not the last.
Definitely not.
We went to the theater and saw it all together. We were all very hyped in the parking lot. Now here we are 3 days later. You've had time to process it. Give me your thoughts, Adam, like on the movie as a whole.
I thought it was a great story. I mean, it was the first time we've actually seen Batman be a detective, right? I mean, he started in Detective Comics, right, for DC. And, we saw him not only just beat the shit out of people, because he was a bruiser. I mean, you're looking at a young Bruce Wayne, young Batman that is still trying to make his way and find out the best way that he can to help Gotham. And, and it wasn't just physically that he was challenged in this movie. He was challenged mentally, not just with the Riddler's puzzles, but with how the story was unfolding. And it was testing his mettle, so to speak, in terms of, what kind of thoughts he had about his family and about his legacy, his family's legacy, and also, the other people that were in his life that, he thought were, they weren't fallible, and now he's seeing that they are. And so it was eye-opening, I think, for Bruce Wayne in this movie that, things aren't always as they appear to be. And so I thought it was a really, really good test, both physically and mentally, for the character.
Absolutely, and I think that's going to be a lost detail. I think people will miss the first time, but when you see it again, you'll realize, like at the beginning, he says he's only been the Batman for like 2 years at this point. Mm-hmm. And I think that's an underappreciated detail because we do see him get tricked out so many times in this movie. We see him; he's always a step behind. I mean, he was an hour late to his own bombing.
Yeah.
Like to his own death, I should say, right?
Yeah.
Like he was an hour late.
Mm-hmm.
And that's It's very interesting. Very good movie all around. I'll go next here. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. I went as far to say that I think it was the best Batman movie ever. I definitely think Robert Pattinson was the best Batman yet that we've seen. Didn't get enough of him as Bruce Wayne. We'll get into Robert Pattinson like full-fledged here in a second, but I didn't expect it to be that good. I know I keep saying that, and I come out of the theater, and you guys know Batman's my favorite superhero.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, can the sequel be next week?
Really? Yeah. Honestly, man, I think that movie just classifies as just art, just pure art, from the cinematography to the soundtrack to the acting to the plot, like just everything just coherently just
Soundtrack,
Yeah.
Underrated
soundtrack.
Yeah, the
I'm glad you
Nirvana
mentioned
song
that.
and everything.
100%.
Yeah.
and just this
Was
the
it
whole
overused though? Because I've heard people say that the Batman, I guess his theme music was a little overused
maybe
in there, maybe a little bit. But
that seems like
well,
somebody finding a reason to
It's
bitch.
a
It
trending
is.
sound
It
on
is.
TikTok, so that could be a lot of people going on the internet before they go to see the movie, and it's just like the
Yeah.
theme's already just stuck ingrained in their mind.
Right.
But yeah, man, like the cinematography, some of the shots in the movie was just absolutely breathtaking.
same cinematographer as Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorian. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And the car chase. I mean, the cinematography in that
that was
car
amazing.
chase.
Also,
Definitely
if
beat the
you're
car
going,
chase on Tatooine.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh my God.
if
Book
you're
of
going
Boba
to see
Fett.
if you're going to see this movie, see it in IMAX, because that car chase scene with the surround sound speakers felt like you were actually like in the car. It felt
Yeah.
like you could feel the engine just rumbling.
Go see every movie in IMAX.
Yeah.
Stop robbing yourself. I mean, if you're going a second time, like if we go see this movie again, which I think we're going to
Yeah,
at some point.
obviously.
I mean, you go see it the second time regular. But that first time seeing a movie like this, dude, could you imagine not seeing Endgame in IMAX?
I did
first
because
time.
I didn't have a choice.
I was say some
well,
people
that
don't
was,
have that luxury.
That was a different situation. So
Yeah, I went
Endgame-
opening day, but like I mean, it was so sold out everywhere else that like I mean, I literally had like a side seat next to the aisle, and it was just me, and like so I didn't have a choice.
We had to see it on a Saturday. Like we always go on Fridays. We had to see it on a Saturday in Destin.
yeah,
Like an hour from here.
yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting. So let's go to Robert Pattinson. We were all like as worried as we were about the movie. This was the number one concern. Mr. Twilight. By the way, guys, if you hear some rattling in the background, we are doing this from Panama City, Florida, in a workshop shed. So it rains a lot in Florida.
it's been raining a lot, and we've needed the last couple of days.
I was gonna say,
with
we've
all
needed
the
this rain,
wildfires and
though.
everything
We've got like
going on, so-
40,000 acres of wildfires burning
Right.
here right now. But so go to Robert Pattinson. I'll start with Liam. Your expectations versus how you came out.
I mean, obviously, it's what you were saying. Like, oh, Twilight Boy. Like, what? Like, why the hell did they cast him? But honestly, man, he grew on me. He killed that. He killed the whole performance. And then after I just did a little research on him, like looking at YouTube videos, and apparently he's very invested in the character. He knows a lot about the lore when it comes to Batman. Him and Paul Dano when it comes to like understanding the story.
We're going to talk about Paul Dano.
Oh yeah, and I don't know. I can just like I appreciate his craft now, of like how in depth he went to like play the actual Batman. Because honestly, like that felt like they just took his character straight out of the comic book and just like plopped it into the movie, as opposed to like Christian Bale doing his own thing or Ben Affleck like teaming up with Superman. I don't know. It was just he killed it. It was great. Definitely shattered my expectations.
Yeah, you don't really see Robert Pattinson. You know, you don't really see his acting chops. You know, at least we've not seen it. I mean, Twilight, he really wasn't this phenomenal actor that carried this franchise. I mean, Kristen Stewart carried the franchise, and she's awful.
Really got outshined by Taylor Lautner
Yeah.
in many cases, which is not good.
Except for the Talking Wolves. But anyway, they were different. movies.
I'm not saying I like
Right.
Twilight names.
So,
Definitely
so-
horrible. Sorry.
But Robert Pattinson, I thought, did a great job in terms of being able to portray not only Bruce Wayne but also Batman in this what the hell do I do now kind of situation. I mean, like when he goes and he's being chased by all those cops and he goes up to the top of the building and you can see that he's just like, oh man, I really got to jump off this fucking building. Seriously.
Yeah, I
like-
loved it.
Right. And it was
Yeah.
great because it was like so real. in terms of like he's never done this before.
And then the way he landed, not graceful.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
That
But,
was
like,
so funny, dude.
right. It was great. But I mean, and then you got Bruce, and you know he's having these conversations, these real conversations with Alfred, and you know you feel for the guy because like he is actually playing Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne is essentially a kid in this. I mean, he's younger than you are right now, I think.
Right.
So I thought he did a great job, as both Batman and Bruce Wayne, because the Bat voice wasn't, over the top like Christian Bale, which I love, by the way, but it wasn't over the top. It was just he's a dude that's out there trying to do what he feels is best for his city, and he's going to do whatever it takes, and you felt that, and which is what we want.
I agree. I didn't see enough of him as Bruce Wayne to really give you guys a full opinion on that. I don't think he was really given that, which is fine. This movie's Batman. It's not called Bruce Wayne. It's called Batman. Like
Batman.
I would love to see. I don't want to see like somebody play a good Bruce Wayne, put on the damn uniform and do a good job. This is something that I bitch about a lot with the MCU, right? They never until this last movie for about 5 minutes, they never played into Spider-Man being a scientist. Peter Parker is a scientist.
Yeah.
Batman's a detective. And this is the first time that we've seen Batman embrace that. Like, that is what Batman's supposed to be.
World's greatest detective.
World's greatest detective. And now here we go. We get it live action. Robert Pattinson did an incredible job under the mask. He looked the part. I mean, if you look at like the comics that he's based off of here, he looks just like Batman in the comic. He carries himself very well. He struggled with everything that you guys have already said. He struggles. And that's the best part is it's not like he's not a superhero.
Yeah.
He's rich. That's Batman. He's a detective. And it was just incredible. Just all around. Nothing bad to say about it, really. Because now I want to talk about, in my opinion, the star of the movie, the Riddler, played by Paul Dano. I have a hot take. Best Batman villain that's ever been played. And I know we love Heath Ledger. Rest in peace. God rest his soul. He took this role and played it so psychotically well. It felt real at sometimes. Like you're sitting in your seat like, oh my God. Like cringing almost. Like this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like he was so psychotic. He was so methodical in the way he was doing things. I enjoyed it. And then especially when he was in the prison because he does not look the part, like, right? Because he just
looks soft.
He looks
a little dweeb.
Yeah. He looks like this little dweeb, but he's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And which was, by the way, big moment in the movie that I missed the first time, like to look out for.
You didn't realize like he said it again, and he was like, and Batman was like, "Oh shit, he doesn't know."
Exactly.
Like,
So I missed that because I thought he knew the whole time.
See, I did at first, but then once he like stepped back again, I was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, I mean, for me, it was like you looked over at Batman, and he had this like, oh, thank God he doesn't know that it's me.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like you could see that expression on Batman's face change.
Yeah,
I
you
missed
could
that
see his
detail.
body language like drop, but like he was trying to keep a straight face the whole time.
Right.
Like,
I missed that detail the first time through.
Yeah.
So that scene right there has been under a lot of scrutiny online with fanboys and stuff because of the cackle and the maniacal laugh / whine that Dano had.
I thought it was great though.
And what I've tried to explain to people here is, and I know I'm going, well before your guys' birth here, but to me, I liken that entire scenario to John Hinckley and Jodie Foster. Okay, so John Hinckley tried to assassinate President Ronald Reagan, and he was doing it for Jodie Foster because they had this connection. He felt like they had this romance, and he had this fascination with her, and she was just a kid at the time. I mean, she was like a teenager, and to me, that whole relationship between the Riddler, Edward, and Batman was kind of that Jodie Foster, John Hinckley kind of thing. He was like, he says, you're my partner, and Batman's like, we're nothing alike. Like, you're not my partner. And
We almost got him.
And that's when his reality, the Riddler's reality just snaps and he doesn't know what to do. He can't go anywhere. He's in a literal cage. And so for me, I felt, that laugh and that whine, that cackle, whatever you want to call it, when he was staring out that little window. He just wanted to get away because his entire world was just crushed by that one statement that Batman made. And it was obvious to everybody else watching it, but not to the Riddler. And so for me, I felt that, but so I don't understand how people can look at that whole scenario, that whole scene, and think that it was over the top or anything like that.
We talked about this in the pre-show, and we're good. Let's just go ahead and get it out. I feel like now we've become so ingrained, and we all love the MCU, and nothing can top it. I mean, I think we can agree with that. Everybody knows it. The MCU is beautiful.
Star Wars is trying.
Star Wars is getting there, right? Like with the Disney Plus and hopefully we start to mix it into the main movie universe too. Mm-hmm. But the MCU is so beautifully done that I think it's really starting to become a toxicity with somebody that's an MCU fan. You said it best before the show. I can fucking like both.
Yeah, I can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Right. So why are we developing this mentality? Like, no, I'm not giving DC a chance because Marvel. And maybe they're not directly saying that,
but that's what they're implying.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah,
you're not even giving DC a chance. DC's 2 for 2 this year.
Yeah,
Peacemaker, Batman, incredible, both of them, both well written. Both action-packed, Peacemaker having the hilarious aspect, and then Batman being everything that we've already talked about. Mm-hmm. Shut the fuck up. If you don't like DC, then shut the fuck up and don't watch it.
Yeah, go away.
Move on.
Right.
Watch something else. Don't waste your energy complaining about it.
Exactly. What are you doing? Go get a job. Go get a hobby. Go play softball.
Right.
Yeah.
Go binge watch the MCU again.
Yeah. Right. Go find something else.
Yeah.
Go watch The Boys.
Something healthier.
Yeah, something healthier than being a little
bitch.
A bitch. We'll just go ahead and say it.
That's being a little bitch. That's
what
it is.
I said fuck a couple times, but bitch is the one that I did. Oh, don't be a goober.
I think that mentality just comes from just one side versus the other, like left versus right, red, blue, Republican, Democrat. I think that's just ingrained into everyday life. Yeah, exactly. It's just ingrained into people's psyche now, where it's like, oh, you're on this side, I have to be on this side and disagree with you on this.
I love that. I love that comparison because it's 100% true. Like, you cannot, if you think the other way, fuck you. I would say
exactly. It's like I'm not gonna hear you out or agree with you. I'm just gonna shun what you have to say, and I don't want to hear it at all. That's how people are these days. It's so annoying.
We don't want to get too political, right? But
I'm not trying to get.
But no.
I know, but
understand what you're saying.
I 100%. Because I really want to drive some shit
it's
home
either
right
or.
now.
It's not both.
Yeah,
exactly. You cannot be on the fence. You're not allowed. You get on the side or you get the hell out.
Right.
I'm not with that. I want the DCEU to succeed, even if we're gonna have 2 different Batmans in 2 different universes at the same time. Whatever. Yeah. Don't complain about that and then tell me you want Andrew Garfield to get a 3rd movie. You want Tobey Maguire to get a 4th movie. You want Tom Holland to get another trilogy. So you want 3 different Spider-Man universes to succeed at the same time, but you're bitching about Batman having 2. We're going to have 3 live-action Batman this year.
And it's the same fans who said they didn't like Andrew or Tobey.
Yeah, exactly.
Spider-Man movies. That's what I find that's funny. It's like, oh, where's all this love coming from for Andrew? Everyone hated him when he played a...
Don't hop on the Andrew bandwagon now.
Exactly.
Right. So then let's get back to the Batman here.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
we got on a rant.
I got a question for you, Kyle.
Okay.
We discussed this a little bit in the after the movie was over. Andy Serkis, right? Phenomenal actor. Everything he's ever been in, I've enjoyed, and he's done a phenomenal job. He's more of a motion capture guy. I think most of the time he has more screen time when he's doing motion capture stuff.
Yeah.
Whether it's Planet of the Apes, Lord of the Rings. Then he's done a couple of others as well. But
I think he did Star Wars. Wasn't he Snoke?
Yeah, he was Snoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snoke in Star Wars. Thank you. So I thought, and maybe it's because they were limiting the amount of Bruce Wayne screen footage, but I thought we could have used more Alfred.
I agree.
Yeah. I don't understand where this where the Andy Serkis thing comes into play. Like in so many ways, like motion capture, like Gollum, he was great and everything. But here lately, it seems like his characters that he's played have not been given the screen time that I feel like they need. I know the atrocity of episode 7, 8, and 9 in Star Wars. Like, we try not to talk about him, but Snoke is a character that I really feel like could have had a lot of potential as a Sith Lord, and we kill him off halfway into the second movie and then we got to rush and bring back Palpatine. And I'm not going to get into that. Get on that soapbox. But then in the MCU, God, I can't think of his character's name, but he's supposed to be Black Panther's main villain, man.
Claw.
Yeah,
I mean, Ulysses Claw.
Yeah,
and he's running the whole underground, and he dies in the first Black Panther movie.
Yep.
And whatever,
to get taken over by a lesser known villain who's now more popular
which
than
is great.
Claw.
Like, I love Black Panther. Black Panther's in my top 5 MCU movies. Incredible. Killmonger,
Best villain.
best villain in the MCU so far.
Facts.
But I just don't feel like he's being given
His due.
his due.
Yeah.
Like, for being what he is, and then here we go again. And we get maybe 10 minutes of Alfred. Maybe.
I think hopefully in the next one they'll flesh out his character way more, because Bruce is he's obviously going to need Alfred, because Alfred was helping him solve the riddles.
Batman always needs Alfred.
Yeah, exactly.
Alfred is his eyes and ears out there. You know, when he can't see everything, I love the way they wrapped the movie up. I'm not trying to jump ahead here, but this is going to get back to Alfred. You know, in the beginning, he's like, I can't be everywhere. You know, and that's when they talked about, is he in that shadow? Is he behind that wall? Are they hearing things because it's Batman? And then all of a sudden we see him. And in the end, we kind of saw that with the bombings and everything. And he's like, I can't be here, 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 and here. And it kind of came to fruition. And it's the same thing with Alfred. Like, Batman can't see everything that's going on around him, and he needs Alfred to be that crutch. But then he also needs him for that stability as Bruce Wayne. Because, how many times have we seen it, even in the comics, where Alfred is the one that brings him back to Earth and is like, no, like, I need you. And Gotham needs Bruce Wayne as well. It needs Batman, but it also needs Bruce Wayne.
That's something. Here we go. Right. This is something that doesn't get explored a whole lot in this movie, and I think that's good because he's only 2 years in. Mm-hmm. He's not spending his money. He's letting his family's fortune kind of run out, and Wayne Enterprises is not a thing.
Yeah, just an empty tower.
It's an empty tower, right? So Bruce Wayne is a recluse at this point. We see in the movie, Falcone says, like, you're the only guy that's more reclusive than I am in all of Gotham. And so maybe that's a storyline we get to explore in the next movie, which we're going to talk about the future, maybe the next film or whatever. We know we got the HBO Max stuff coming up, but just want to talk about the possibilities of the next Batman movie. Maybe this is a growing experience now. Like, maybe now is when we're only 2 years in. Now Alfred's going to start getting more involved. Now we're going to start using our money, our resources to really get out there. Like, and we see his Batmobile's kind of busted up. He's got fire coming out the side, and I don't think that's like a cool fire. I think that's like the engine's about to blow up, dog. But really, I mean, if those are our top complaints, I would call this a pretty.
I'm about to say that
movie.
That just goes to show how good the movie is. Yeah, honestly.
So let's talk about the future. Let's talk about the Batman 2, because we see the scene there at the end of the movie.
I'll say main villain's gonna be Joker.
Looks like we're getting the Joker, played by Barry. Gilgan, I think, from
Barry Gilgan
from the Eternals.
Yeah, something like that.
Played Druid in the Eternals. It's funny because I'm gonna shout them out. New Rockstars, YouTube channel that Liam and I both watch. They do these breakdowns, and they broke down the Riddler's whole alphabet. There's only one letter missing. J.
Yep.
There's no sign for the letter J yet.
They're obviously going to venture into the Joker arc, but honestly, I'd love to see them somehow make like the Court of Owls storyline into the next one.
I thought that's probably where they were going to go in this movie.
Yeah, especially since the Wayne family was like all corrupt and everything.
Yeah, when he's trying to decipher, who is El Rata, right? Who is El Rata Alada? And then I'm thinking, okay, well, there's an owl, right? Owls are birds. Yeah. So are we going to get Court of Owls in this one, or is it going to lead into the next movie? So I was definitely on a Court of Owls kind of kick too.
Court of Owls, and then here's a villain I'd really like to see. In this universe specifically, Professor Pig. I don't know if any of you guys have played the Arkham games, but in Arkham Knight, he is like this this criminal who takes people and he mutilates their bodies. Like he'll try and make people like beautiful in a sense. So he'll just like sew them up, like Frankenstein them up, and that would be terrifying in the Pattinson universe. I think.
Shit.
Yeah.
Hush is one that I think could be
a
looked
great
at, but
villain.
Hush is
you
like
would-
we got some
but
Easter
you would
eggs
have
for
to have
that.
some Superman in that too, right? So like, is there a Superman in this Batman universe? We don't know.
Yeah.
Here's where me and I guess DC don't get along too much. I'm done with I'm done with Superman.
Yeah.
I have nothing left at this point. I did not like the Man of Steel. I didn't like Henry Cavill. I haven't been able. I couldn't do Smallville. I didn't like Smallville.
See, I loved Smallville.
I couldn't do it. And maybe that's just, I don't know what that is. I've never been a big Superman fan. I always loved the Justice League, but Superman was always like almost like the Red Power Ranger. Like you either love the Red Power Ranger or you're like whatever.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of where I was with Superman, and that's where I still am. I'm kind of done with Superman. I didn't even pop in the Shazam post-credit scene when he sits down and it's just his body.
Oh yeah.
I honestly didn't even catch that he was in Peacemaker.
Oh, if you notice, they didn't even animate him at all. They just like kind of left a silhouette of a black face, and he was just like floating there.
Okay, so in this Batman, do we see a Robin?
I think this is it. Another thing that we have not gotten to see. We got the tease with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, kinda.
Yeah.
We know that Robin's dead in the Batfleck universe. Dude, damn it. Batman and Robin, can we please do this right? I want it.
Taylor Lautner is Robin. I'm just kidding.
Shut the fuck up. Oh, my God. Well, fuck it. Well,
So-
let's just get Kristen Stewart as Poison Ivy.
So here's what I would want to see, okay? I would want to see the League of Shadows in the second one.
That
with
would be-
Ra's
That
al
would be
Ghul-
really good.
With Ra's al Ghul and Bruce Wayne, you know, gets his kicks in with, you know, Ra's daughter, and he ends up having a son, which is Damian, right? Because Damian's probably one of my favorite Batman, or is probably one of my favorite Robins in the comics, and he's Ra's al Ghul's grandson. So, you know, Batman sends him off, and Ra's trains him, and then he brings back, and then he comes back, and then Batman has to retrain him how to be, you know, a hero.
Yeah. Less lethal.
Right, less lethal. So I would love to see like a Damian kind of story arc, which honestly could lead us down, you know, a couple different movies just with Damian as Robin. So, and it would be a little bit darker, and it wouldn't be as campy, you know, like holy Toledo Batman, blah blah blah. Right, like let's get dark, let's get serious, let's stay serious, and then let's go from there.
What about Mr. Freeze? Because that's the trend. That's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
And I think you could get Mr. Freeze to be that like penguin style villain.
As
in
long
this
as it's
movie.
not Arnold Schwarzenegger and it stays grounded.
People are saying Mark Strong.
Pretty
How
good.
many villains can that dude play though?
Yeah,
Everyone.
yeah, whatever. Let's just go Giancarlo Esposito.
I was literally just about to say that, or Giancarlo, like one of the two.
He's a villain, right? I mean, I just feel like Mr. Freeze was always one of my favorite Batman villains. I loved him in the shows.
You know who I think could be a good Mr. Freeze? Michael Fassbender.
Oh, Magneto.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
I'd say if you just make him go bald, dye his skin blue, I think you could pull it off.
Yeah. I mean, really, in today's era with CGI and
Yeah, anything's
everything,
possible.
Anything's
Yeah.
possible. That one of the top-rated movies includes a guy being CGI'd as a big green monster. So.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else for the Batman for the future?
Leave it the fuck alone.
I was about to say, I hope it only goes up from here.
Right.
Let
It's
it go.
doing well at the box office
Yeah.
for a reason. It's got a great Rotten Tomatoes score right now for a reason. It's a great movie. It's very entertaining. And my brother and I talked about this because he went and saw it before I did, or before we did. And what's the rewatchability factor in this movie, right? Because that plays a role in whether or not I truly enjoy a movie. Is can I sit down and watch this movie again, whether it's in the theater or whether it's at home? And I can, and I'll probably enjoy it just as much, and I'll probably pick up on some more shit because I don't have little turd nugget over here next to me talking in my ear the entire time. Not Liam, the other guy.
Turd, you can be Turd Nugget.
That's all right.
You know what I'm talking about. The
Yeah.
kid in the theater that was with me.
Little
I'll
shit.
say, that's saying a lot, though, especially since it's a 3-hour runtime.
Right.
Like, that just goes to show how deep the story is, how fleshed out the characters
Did that
are.
movie ever feel drug out to you?
No, not at all. Did not feel like 3 hours.
No, I can't say that it did. There was a couple times.
I mean, I checked my phone at the end, and I was like, holy shit, it's been
There was a
3
couple
hours,
times
but-
with Gordon where I felt like it probably could have been, the pace could have been picked up a little bit, but again, they're trying to flesh out Gordon, and I thought Jeffrey Wright did a phenomenal job as Lieutenant Gordon in the movie as well.
Yeah,
But,
there's another guy we didn't give any
Right.
love to.
I'd
Jeffrey
say
Wright was incredible.
the whole cast just
Mhm.
nailed their parts like
Zoe
perfectly.
Kravitz is the right amount of urban. Thank
Yep.
Yeah, I thought Zoe Kravitz was
I
good.
loved her.
Mhm.
I don't think she was much very Catwoman-y, but I think she was good.
I mean, she's starting out as Catwoman. Like, that's the thing.
exactly. So same thing with Batman.
Exactly.
We're young into her career as well.
Mhm.
So I can't bitch about that either.
The only thing, there's one, maybe two things that I can knock the movie on. And we talked about one of these in the after the movie was over when we were outside. I don't like how they treated Thomas Wayne.
Yep.
Whether they tried to explain it away or not, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth that they've now knocked Thomas Wayne down into that criminal element. Whether he meant to do it or not, I understand Falcone was taken care of, or was trying to put himself in a position of power over Thomas Wayne by having this, that murder over his head. But at the same time, I don't feel like the Thomas Wayne from the comics would have put himself in that kind of situation. And then the other thing, I just lost my train of thought, but I don't like what they did with the Thomas Wayne thing. So that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. So anybody else got anything they want to?
I mean, maybe I guess I would have liked to have seen a little bit more Bruce Wayne and a little bit more of a history on why he's kind of letting his family legacy fade out, because he doesn't know about this shit with his dad until late in the movie, so it's not that. I mean, but that's me really digging for something that I didn't like.
Well, he said that he was like the company's not my legacy. He was like telling Alfred, he was like, being Batman is my legacy.
Right, but you've only been doing this for 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole story arc, is like he started out just doing it, like just being Batman so he could fill the void of his parents' death. And then like once the movie ended, when he was loading that chick onto the National Guard thing and lifted in the air and he was like holding her arm.
Yeah.
I think he realized that he was like, oh, this isn't just, I'm not just doing this for me. Like everybody benefits from me being Batman.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's great. And if that's the route we're going to go in, then that's fine.
Yeah.
I guess maybe that 15-minute monologue at the beginning, where I did love bits and pieces of. I'm not saying I want an origin story. I'm tired of the Batman origin story.
I think everybody is.
we
We all know
know.
what happened. His
We all
parents
know
got
his
shot,
parents are
crime
dead.
alley. All
Yeah.
Do you know
pearls
why
falling
we
down
fall,
the.
Bruce?
Uh-huh.
Do you know why we fall, Bruce?
Right. We don't need that anymore.
Yeah, we don't.
Especially not with Negan playing. Especially not with Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing him. But I guess maybe that could have been a little bit of a prelogue to why he is in his reclusive state.
Mm-hmm.
Because much like Tony Stark, that's not really Bruce Wayne's thing, like to be a recluse. Like he's supposed to be, I mean, he's not as like flashy as Tony Stark, but he's supposed to be hosting events. He's got his charities.
I think the next movie we'll see him coming out of his shell a little bit more, because I think he's going to realize that, like, oh, I have to play the playboy part in order to keep
Otherwise,
people like.
what are you doing with all your money?
Yeah,
and all
people
your
are going to
time?
be like, why are you always inside? And then there's a crime-fighting
Right.
bat out there with millions
And
of
why are
dollars
you
of
beat the fuck
technology.
up?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
yeah. What's up?
Why you bruised up, bro? Like, who you fighting in your house?
Is
Like,
that eyeshadow?
Yeah.
Right.
I guess I've lost my train of thought as well.
Yeah,
I completely.
That's what I'm saying. There's just so much going on in this movie. I can't wait to watch it again. Enjoyed it thoroughly. Can't wait for the sequel. Can't wait for the Arkham Asylum series on HBO Max. So I'm down.
And honestly, this is one of the very few superhero movies where I feel like the events could play out in real life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
The
mean,
villains were believable.
yeah.
the villains were believable, and he was just exposing corrupt politicians.
Yeah. I mean, we should be doing that here with Mr. Jimmy Petronas.
Oh, Jimmy P. I love Jimmy P. As a guy.
As a
person.
guy. Yeah.
Oh.
Not
We
as a
should have cleaned up
CFO.
all that hurricane stuff, though. We should have.
Should I?
It was all our fault, Jimmy.
All right. All our fault, Jimmy. We're sorry.
Yeah, my
We're
bad.
sorry that we couldn't go 8
Liam,
miles
you're getting
into
all
the
political.
woods.
We need to do a political podcast with you. And then
I'm
just
not even
keep
into
that shit
politics
separate.
like that, to be honest. Like, I don't know why I'm going off on these little
Right.
rants, but I do not like.
I'm sorry that we didn't go 8 miles into the middle of the fucking woods and clean it up.
Yeah,
Jimmy.
right.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
My bad.
apologies.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
Sorry.
There's your South Park reference for the episode. All right, we're going to get out of here. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll get notifications for anything that we do. Big stuff coming up here on the Right On Network YouTube channel this week. On Thursday night, or on Friday morning, the Right On Squared Circle interview with James Ellsworth will be up here on the YouTube channel. It's going to be awesome. Dan and Scott are going to knock that out of the park. And then on Monday, we will have myself and Nick Gurley will be sitting down and interviewing Mr. Jim O'Hare, Jerry Gergich from Parks and Recreation. He's done so much more. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Be able to check all that stuff out. Stay ahead of the loop. We appreciate everybody that's been here since the beginning. We appreciate your support, and just keep doing it.
Leave your comments down below on what you thought of the Batman.
What do you want? What do you want in the
What's
next
your
Batman?
sequel?
Right. What is your sequel? There you go. I like that. What's your sequel?
Right.
All right, Adam, thank you as always.
I enjoyed it, man. And let's go DC.
Yeah, let's go, DC. Get it. Let's get on track. Adam and I are also starting a new podcast that is probably not going to relate to anything that we're talking about now, but there's something to look forward to.
Yeah, pay attention. Hit the subscribe button.
Hit the subscribe button. Do it.
Yeah.
Liam, thank you as always.
Thanks for having me. Let's go DC.
Oh, we should have ate the calzone.
Damn, we should have done that. I could have picked it up after class. Damn.
All right, we're re-recording. Okay, I'm just kidding. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.